Gentlemen, please rise for a moment of silence. U.S. Soccer asks you to join us in honoring and remembering the 19 Arizona firefighters who were killed last Sunday in the service of others. Thank you.
So the United States set to face Guatemala in this final warm-up game before the Gold Cup gets underway next week. Carl Martino, as usual, between the benches for us tonight. Carl, who are the players to watch out there for you?
Well, recently, DeMarcus Beasley made it a baker's dozen of U.S. players that have made it to that 100 cap level. An incredible accomplishment. And he's earned his way back into the U.S. team, earned the armband, and done it all in an unfamiliar position, that left back position. So keep your eye on DeMarcus Beasley. And for Guatemala, it's going to be about their big forward. This is the guy that their coach said is going to replace Carlos Ruiz. He's strong, he can hold the ball up, and he's got a great goal-scoring record.
Thanks, Kyle. There's tonight's referee, Valdin Legister, a teacher by profession from Westmoreland in Jamaica. Well, it was a profitable June in World Cup qualifying for the United States. They now face a different challenge in July. Their Gold Cup campaign begins in 4 days' time for Landon Donovan and co. A chance to restate their international claims. And straight away into possession. Here's Landon Donovan for the first time, but he gives the ball away. Jose Contreras will be playing just underneath Minor Lopez up top. Here's the left back Carlos Gallardo. He plays for Marquenza in the Guatemalan League. Now, did that go out first? Yes, it did. Hercules Gomez was involved in the move. And Joe Corona, the furthest man forward for the United States. Big opportunity for him tonight in what Jurgen Klinsmann described to us this morning as the Clint Dempsey role. The United States has dominated this rivalry recently. 19 games unbeaten against Guatemala, the longest streak against any opponent. They're 13-0-6 since 1988. These two sides first met in 1977. Here's the first attack for Guatemala down the right-hand side, and the shot from Jonathan Lopez blazes over the bar. He featured in 11 of the 2014 World Cup qualifiers for Guatemala. They failed to qualify for the hexagonal in heartbreaking circumstances. There was a 3-1 defeat to the USA in Kansas City last October, and that's after Carlos Ruiz gave Guatemala an early lead. Bocanegra and 2 from Dempsey secure qualification for the USA. Guatemala only needed a point from that game to qualify for the Hex. They had a goal difference of +3 on Jamaica. They lost 3-1. Jamaica beat Antigua and Barbuda 4-1, and Jamaica pipped them on goal difference to the hexagonal. And they failed to qualify for the Gold Cup as well. So rebuilding phase for the Guatemalans. There's Aguchi Onyewu.
Well, Arlo, we watched Guatemala train yesterday, and this is exactly what they worked on. That first line of pressure, staying compact, staying deep. They want to make sure they don't give anything up to this U.S. team and look to counter.
Wild challenge by Edward Santeliz, born in Chicago to Guatemalan parents, and here he is, a former teammate of Michael Bradley in youth soccer. That's a nice ball inside to Contreras, and he tried the layoff to Lopez. It was perceptive play down the left-hand side by Edward Santeliz. Born in Glendale Heights, to be exact. Moved back down to Guatemala at the age of 18. Here's Michael Parkhurst. Landon Donovan, full of running in the early stages. Parkhurst a heavy touch this time. Applies his trade, Michael Parkhurst, now for FC Augsburg in Germany. Good opportunity for him at right back. Perez knocks it long, looking for Lopez. Well, run in the air by Malaga's Aguchi Onyewu. Clearance from Hernandez. And they've let this through. The flag is up on the far side. Contreras was scampering through. Offside, free kick to the United States. There's Jose Torres. One of the two deep-lying midfielders, Kyle, in this formation, the 4-2-3-1 that Jurgen Klinsmann told us about this morning, alongside Carl Beckerman. Look out for Stuart Holden and Mix Diskerud in the second half as well. Beckerman.
Well, it's going to look a lot different, though, than the Michael Bradley, Jermaine Jones combination. I think the roles are more clearly defined. You'll see Michael Bradley and Jermaine Jones almost a double pivot, both going forward, both helping back. Kyle Beckerman will be the one that will sit in that hole and be more defensive and allow Torres to get forward, to use that left foot, his vision, his ability to unbalance defenses, either off the dribble or tight little passes.
Joe Corona has drifted back into his own half to collect possession here. Here's Herculez Gomez. Back to Corona, who just left it a yard or two behind him. Guatemala can bring the ball away, but they're immediately dispossessed. Here's Landon Donovan. Back from Beckerman. Given away again by Donovan. Here's Minor Lopez. Sprinting run from Jonathan Lopez down the centre of the field. And the referee, Mr. Legister from Jamaica, spots a foul by Beckerman on Contreras, and it's a free kick to Guatemala.
Guatemala are going to have to get a lot out of Contreras and Minor Lopez tonight. Minor Lopez, at times they can use him as that release valve to play long and play direct, but Contreras very comfortable on the ball, skillful, strong, low center of gravity.
Victor Hernandez out of play. On Yewu. Back to Raimondo, closed down by Contreras. Putting some good high pressure on here, the Guatemalans, but it's worked nicely by Goodson out to DeMarcus Beasley. Edgar Castillo is the left midfielder today. Goodson again. 5 of the starting 11 by their club trade in Liga MX, which is a record for a starting 11 for the United States. Gallardo, Santilles, Michael Parkhurst for company. US backline looking for a flag, which does eventually come against Minor Lopez once he got involved in the play. He was the man offside. Gallardo complaining about the decision. Lopez felt he was fouled, but he'd already been flagged for offside. Six goals in 27 international appearances for Minor Lopez. Made his debut against the USA in 2008. That was a 2-0 defeat in a World Cup qualifier. Castillo. Flag up against Herculez Gomez. Carl, it was very interesting, wasn't it, this morning, talking to Jurgen Klinsmann about the World Cup. He's played in so many. He took Germany there, his home nation, in 2006 when they hosted the competition. He seemed excited when he said just the word Brazil, the host nation, brings out a smile on people's faces. You can tell he's into it at the moment, can't you?
He's so passionate, and he always is. I mean, it's infectious too. You talk to Jurgen Klinsmann about soccer in general, and he just always has a smile on his face, but when it comes to a World Cup, there's nothing bigger.
Lopez on the end of that pass from Torres. Guatemala work it into the area. Minor Lopez is there, and it wasn't far away. Oh, Beckerman was back defending with the sliding challenge. Untidy play on the edge of the penalty area by the United States.
Well, and Iguchi Onyewu and Clarence Goodson, you know, their combination, their partnership is going to be so important. These tight little gaps, running off the ball, the communication ongoing with runners has to be better, has to be very concise, and it's hard when you don't get a lot of reps with your center back partner to get it quickly. But Jurgen Klinsmann expects them to get it quickly. Talked about partnerships, the center backs, the right back and the right midfield, the two defensive midfielders. There's a lot of two-man partnerships that Jurgen Klinsmann are watching closely.
And he was keen to emphasize this morning that no one should feel that their place is locked in. His warning to his players ahead of this Gold Cup is if anyone is holding back, he'll have an issue with them. There's very little time before the World Cup, he told us. Less than a year now. Now's the time to perform. Beckerman with a bit of space. Here's Landon Donovan. All eyes on him tonight. He's on 49 international goals as well. Could he be the first US player to 50, to the half century? Beasley down the left-hand side. Promising moments these for the United States. It was behind Herculez Gomez. Hernandez with a touch. Now Sergio Trujillo trying to find the feet of Jose Contreras.
Well, the great part about the partnership on the left side of Castillo and DeMarcus Beasley is they're so interchangeable. It's kind of ironic. You have a left midfielder that's used to playing left back and a left back that's used to playing left midfield. So that fluidity and their comfortability of getting into those spots is going to be a huge asset for the United States in this game.
It was a lovely touch by Donovan into the path of Corona, wasn't it? Castillo, Corona, Donovan, Corona again, didn't shirk the challenge. Trujillo went flying into the air that time. We'll have to wait and see a replay to see if Corona got the ball. It did seem like a slight overreaction.
I think it's the cleat exposed that the referee is looking at in those situations. And they really don't care if you got the ball or not.
I heard the yelp from the announce booth here at Qualcomm Stadium. Elias Vasquez from Comunicaciones. He played in the 2011 Gold Cup. Onyewu. He's missed the last 16 internationals for the United States. From Malaga, his club side in Spain, he had more starts in the Champions League last season, 2 than league starts, with only 1. He's played for some big clubs, Aguchi Onyewu. Standard Liège, AC Milan, Sporting Lisbon, Twente Escudé. But he's got to prove it all again to Jurgen Klinsmann. Donovan continuing his run. It's Corona who slid the ball through. Donovan complaining to the referee there, Kyle.
Yeah, he got bumped a little bit off the ball trying to make that run through. Overhit by Joe Corona anyway. This is going to be an important game for Joe Corona. He's being put in a position to succeed with 2 defensive midfielders behind him. I don't think he's the type of player that can cover enough ground or do enough in a midfield where he's one of the 2 midfielders. But his creative ability, his vision, being able to get on the ball and create things, to be able to do that in front of 2 guys that are doing a lot of the defensive work for you is the best chance he has to succeed with this team.
Plays his club soccer for Tijuana, just down the road from us here in San Diego. Born of a Mexican father and a Salvadoran mother. Played age group soccer for the Mexican national side. He was cap-tied to the US after playing against Guatemala in a World Cup qualifier. So he's fully committed to the cause for the United States. Sportsmanship between Vasquez and Herculez Gomez. Here's Beasley. Castillo in on that right foot. Like it goes to Torres. Those bright yellow boots. Trujillo with the foul. He claims he got the ball. But it's a free kick to the United States in a dangerous position.
Torres is another one of those players that can handle the ball in tight spaces. And the times he's come in with the U.S. team, one of the areas that I've been really impressed with is his ability to bring the ball from one side of the field to the other and play positive, not just play that simple, safe pass backwards. You can count on him to hold the ball up and put it into tight spaces, quick feet. Now we're going to see what he can do off of a set piece, but you know Herculez Gomez isn't afraid to have a strike from here.
Yeah, I think he fancies this one. Here's Gomez, low but into the wall. Beckerman wins the header. Good strength in the midfield from Guatemala. And Contreras towards Lopez. It was a very good ball. Under-hit slightly in the end. Jonathan Lopez's eyes lit up then. Beasley had such a good Gold Cup in 2002. Scored against South Korea in the opening game. He'd only played one half of one qualifier. That tournament that year was played in January with the World Cup in South Korea and Japan later on. He played a starring role in it. Pablo Mastroeni had a good Gold Cup that year as well. It is a tournament upcoming where players can stake their claim for the national team in a World Cup year. There's no doubt about it. Torres, Beasley, Beckerman. Clarence Goodson recently returned to MLS. He'll resume his MLS career with San Jose after the Gold Cup. Parkhurst. Onyewu. They're keeping the United States honest here, Guatemala.
This is good for the United States. The word Jurgen Klinsmann used yesterday was patience. Very difficult to play against a team that's going to bunker in, that's going to stake them back, and be satisfied with just countering forward. And it's something they're going to see a lot in the Gold Cup, which is one reason they set up this friendly. But already you're seeing Guatemala getting a little bit of confidence, and at times trying to push further and further up the field. That's what the United States needs to do, is bait them out of those spots. Move the ball left and right, but quickly, and get players to feel uncomfortable and feel out of position, and that's when you have to go fast.
It's interesting, Carl, because to your left-hand side, I'm sure you've seen him, with the US just stroking the ball around, Jurgen Klinsmann leapt to his feet to the corner of the technical area and was urging them to get it forward a little bit quicker. Yeah,
there's those moments, and he referenced several players that do a good job and have gotten better at finding those moments to play forward. Stu Holden, who we'll probably see in the second half, was one player. He said, I want Stewie, as he calls them, to play the ball into those little areas, those darting forward passes that Stewie can play, and that's what he wants, penetrating passes.
Here we go between Beasley and Castillo, and it's a corner earned for the United States. Ricardo Jerez, the goalkeeper, plays his club soccer in Colombia. 15 minutes in, Landon Donovan with this corner kick. Deep service, Jerez spills it. Vasquez gets it clear, only as far as Parkhurst. Now Beasley, converted to a left-back recently for the US national team, having an excellent run. He was terrific in the Azteca in that 0-0 draw in World Cup qualifying. Skill from Corona. Gomez allows it through. In fact, it was Goodson, excuse me. Gomez was trying to get on the end of it. Hard to confuse those two.
Not the high percentage position to have Goodson in, trying to backheel a ball on the top of the 18.
Given away by Guatemala. Torres. Castillo driving forward, trying to slide it into Gomez. Well read in the end by Vasquez.
Well, just off to my left, Arlo, right when they give up the ball, Jurgen Klinsmann screaming, go, go. Wants them to go forward as fast as they can.
Lopez has just taken up a position in between the two defenders in the penalty area here, screaming for the ball. All the way across to Santeliz. Now Lopez on the chest. Always a mix-up. Lopez could be in. Parkhurst covered well. He does look dangerous. You picked him out before the game, Carl, having watched him at training yesterday. He's the main danger man at the moment. Up top for Guatemala, Minor Lopez.
He's going to be a handful. The important part is for Onyewu and Goodson to communicate. When there's only one forward, at times you're not sure where that responsibility lies, because when you're playing against two forwards, you can see, I've got this guy, you got that guy. They have to communicate well because he's smart. He runs in those blind spots, and then you have Contreras, who's talented enough to slip that ball and punish them.
Castillo. Gomez was firm in the second challenge. Here's Torres. Now Beasley. Castillo providing the width ahead of him. Beasley continues his run, sprinting down the left-hand side. Vasquez across. Beasley gets there first. Just clipped the heel of the Guatemalan. Having been played in a very good spirit. Vasquez there helping Beasley to his feet while the play was ongoing. Torres. Heavy challenge from Corona. Carl mentioned a few moments ago that this could be the sort of approach that the United States will face in the Gold Cup. They open their campaign in Portland. That should be a great atmosphere on Tuesday against Belize. Then it's to Rio Tinto Stadium in Salt Lake City, July the 13th against Cuba, and then July 16th against the other big team in the group, punched clear by Jerez. That's Costa Rica. in Hartford. Gomez clashing with the goalkeeper. So there you go. That's what the United States will face over the coming weeks. The United States have won the competition 4 times. They enjoyed themselves in the 2000s, 2002, 2005 and 2007. Mexico have won it 6 times. In fact, those 2 sides have competed in the last 3 finals. It was a memorable game in 2011 down at the Rose Bowl. 93,000 watched it. The US led after 23 minutes by 2-0. Michael Bradley and Landon Donovan. And then Mexico scored 4 unanswered goals to win the Gold Cup. The entire tournament being played in the United States, of course. Santeliz. Trujillo. Now Contreras. Santeliz again being chased by Parkhurst. Good challenge by Contreras on Castillo. But the United States have it back. Are we seeing water splashing up on the field down there, Carl?
Yeah, they watered the field a lot. And, it appears that the sod's been laid recently. And they cut it really low, and the ball's just skipping off the surface. Might have left those sprinklers on just a touch too long.
Only a zip out there. Here's Beckerman into the run of Gomez. It was a wonderfully curled ball. Only one to aim for in the penalty area. There came the cross. And it's a corner kick to the United States.
You can see Herculez Gomez applauding the pass over the top. What's important about that play is Corona's in the middle when Gomez vacates that center spot. That's one thing Josie Altidore and Clint Dempsey have been doing so well lately. Josie tucks wide. Clint was the one deep through the center, and Joe Corona showing the awareness to make sure he gets in the box as a target.
Torres with the left foot then. Kills it to the back post. Goodson is there. It's an excellent save. Beckerman. Perez was equal to it. Powerful header from Clarence Goodson. Beckerman was sniffing around the goalkeeper there for the rebound. Perez recovered in time.
Guatemala are not very tall, and you can see Goodson comes in. No one challenges him. And Beckerman misses that second attempt. Great first save from Perez, but Beckerman scuffed the rebound. Set pieces all night long are going to be the danger spot for the United States. You got 2 tall trees in Gucci Onyewu and Clarence Goodson, and we watched the finishing yesterday, and they were finishing in pairs, and Clarence Goodson and Gucci Onyewu, I think, did the best out of everyone on the U.S. and finishing chances from wide position.
So much so, Carl, I was surprised not to see them playing up front tonight. I mean, they were terrific.
I'm sure they lobbied for it.
Here's Lopez. Foul this time by Goodson. Free kick to Guatemala. And I'm sure they'll be aiming for the forehead of Minor Lopez from this one. He's a handful. You know, a player like this, it's not just the shop window for the United States players. Someone like a Minor Lopez will have MLS scouts tracking him, I would have thought.
Absolutely. Especially when you hear comparisons to Carlos Ruiz. Even the coach, first thing out of his mouth was that we got another Ruiz. And they're going to hope so. I mean, all the production they lose with the retirement at the international level of Carlos Ruiz is going to be tough to replace.
Jean Marquez will take it left-footed. It's a dangerous-looking cross, and it's an excellent header in the end by Parkhurst to put it wide. It was a brave header inside his own 6-yard box, right in front of Nick Raimondo.
Well, that's a great ball right here. That's an important header. Because it looked like Santeliz might have been the one to get on the end of that if Parkhurst doesn't reach up and flick that one on.
Very skillfully done, Carl, wasn't it?
Well, and Parkhurst isn't a big guy, but reads the game so well.
He wasn't to know what was behind him. Here comes the corner kick towards Raimondo. It's headed out of his hands by his Salt Lake teammate, Carl Beckerman. One international goal for Carl Beckerman in his career. This is his 21st cap. He scored it against Panama in the 2009 Gold Cup quarter-final. His first start for the national team tonight since the Canada friendly in January when he was captain. He came on as a sub in that extraordinary World Cup qualifier in Denver against Costa Rica, the snow game. Contreras. Let's sit back from Gallardo. Here's Gallardo again, the left back. Forward it goes to Lopez. Claiming the ball came off Goodson last. Torres. Now Beasley. Castillo. Corona. He's having to come deeper and deeper to find the game at the moment, Kyle, do you think?
Yeah, he is. And Kyle Beckman's doing his best to drop back and be the one that plays that entry pass that's putting guys in good positions where they can get turned.
Well, they're gradually making yardage here, the United States. Torres is tackled. Jurgen Klinsmann's side, of course, coming off a perfect June. They beat Germany 4-3 in a friendly. That got things started after a defeat in late May to Belgium. And then Jamaica, Panama and Honduras vanquished in World Cup qualifiers. And since that defeat in Honduras, which seems like a long time ago, it was only February, the United States have taken 13 points out of 15. They lead the Hex. They've got 1 foot in the finals. Still business to take care of, though. Here's Donovan. Offside flag up against Lopez.
Well, Guatemala have done such a good job of staying organized, crowding the ball side of the field, winning the ball back quickly. It's going to be important for the United States. Right there, you saw Joe Corona with 3 Guatemalan players around him to find that one pass that can have a player facing forward to switch the point of attack. Can't have too many tight little passes in a row on one side of the field. It has to come off onto the other side.
Corona. Beasley. There's Torres. Sprays it out to Parkhurst. A little high for the right back. Santeliz. Got some nice close control, Santeliz, and a good football brain. He tries to slide it through towards Lopez. Raimondo is out of his goal. Did Lopez foul him? Yes, he did, according to the referee. A little mix-up there between Raimondo and Goodson. He came a long way out.
Well, when you have a goalkeeper that's so comfortable with his feet, at times you count on him to come and make this play. But Goodson's just so close to that ball.
Was there a shout, Kyle? I don't know whether you could probably hear it from down there.
There was a shout, but at that point, Goodson was just trying to hold off the forward. He knew he'd maybe made the wrong decision because he was closer to the ball than Raimondo was.
Trujillo, nice skill. Skips past Torres. Gets a bit of pace into the counter-attack. Trujillo still going. It's a combination of Beasley and Goodson that stop him in his tracks, but they concede the throw-in. Carlos Castrillo with the throw-in. It's a poor one. Vasquez there ahead of Gomez. Flipped into the penalty area. Jonathan Lopez is offside.
Well, this is Trujillo getting on the ball and just driving through the middle. Great little move there. Cuts by one player. You can see he's looking for options. Tries to touch it past Goodson there. Goodson just drops a little shoulder into him. But there's some bright young players on this team, and without a competition in the near future, they have the luxury of time to develop these players. It's not a nearsighted view where they need to get results today. They can have the growing pains and get some experience for these talented young players. We asked him, the coach of Guatemala yesterday, who's promising right now? Who are you excited about? He said, to tell you the truth, there's 5 or 6 guys that I think are really going to make a difference in the future of this national team. And my job is to develop them right now.
There he is, Victor Hugo Monson. Appointed in January. Former coach of the Guatemala under-17s. He played in the Olympics for Guatemala in 1988. Guatemala failed to get out of a group that involved Zambia, Italy and Iraq. Very affable gentleman. It was wonderful talking to him about the experience last month of Guatemala losing 4-0 at home to Argentina. Lionel Messi scoring a hat-trick. He said it was another world. He said Messi was like Superman. It was a beautiful experience. And we asked him, did he get a photo? He said, yes, I got my son over. And we had a photo with the great man, Lionel Messi. There's a time to be really serious as a national team coach, and there's a time to take advantage of the situation, isn't there? And I think that was it.
And then there's Messi time.
Corona. Beckerman, United States dominating possession.
Boy, and you had to expect that. They knew that was going to be the case. It's not about how long they keep the ball, but what they can do with it, how positive they can play, and how quickly they can unbalance this very organized team.
Beckerman into the penalty area towards Landon Donovan. Vasquez is having a good game, and that's a clear trip and a free kick to the United States. Santilli's on Corona.
Well, lately, Landon Donovan and Joe Corona have been interchanging a little bit. Great first touch and a little clip of the heel right here. Brings down Joe Corona, but that's one way that they're going to make things difficult, is have players interchange. And it can be a little bit of organized chaos up there at times. You have a lot of players that are comfortable in different spots, whether it be Corona moving to the right, or Landon moving up top, and Herculez Gomez moving to the left. They can interchange a little bit more as long as there's someone stretching them high and there's support underneath that player.
So Onyewo's beyond the back post. Goodson's in there as well. He's already got on the end of one searching set piece. Torres could curl this left-footed. Donovan right-footed. Beckerman making a run on the edge of the 6-yard area. Donovan with the cross. Beckerman with the header, and it flashes wide. Nicely worked.
Well, just a little bit behind Beckerman. Very tough to, with your body facing away from the goal. You can see he finds a little bit of a pocket, but facing away from the goal to generate enough power to get that back towards the frame is going to be hard.
Contreras. Lopez battling for the ball in the midfield for Guatemala. But away come the United States with Landon Donovan. Still searching for goal number 50 in international soccer. We were there for his last goals in the international game. Jacksonville last May. A hat-trick against Scotland and a romping 5-0 victory. Castillo. Jonathan Lopez with the challenge. Minor Lopez. Lovely sliding challenge by Castillo, and he wins the free kick as well. Started at left back in that friendly in Azteca last August. The last time Landon Donovan played for the US national team. A famous night. First victory at the Azteca and on Mexican soil. Donovan. Gomez challenging. Hernandez with the header, but only as far as Beckerman. Torres. Corona. Donovan, lovely move. Foul by Hernandez, was he? No, says the referee. Not too much complaining from Landon Donovan on that one. Gallardo. Trujillo. That'll be a foul by Torres. Here's Herculez Gomez. It's all a little bit congested. Trujillo. Now Gallardo. Contreras wearing the captain's armband for Guatemala. Goes it beautifully to the path of Jonathan Lopez. Only Minor Lopez at the moment to aim for. Goodson with the header clear. Still there, though. The long-range drive comes in from Marquez. Never troubled Nick Raimondo. Controlled by Castillo. Guatemala have it back, enjoying a nice little period here, the visitors. Minor Lopez. Space on the left-hand side here for Gallardo. Lopez sprinting into the penalty area. Here comes the cross. Backtracking is Nick Raimondo, but it's comfortable in the end.
Well, just as Nick Raimondo catches that ball off to my left, Jurgen Klinsmann screaming, go. Wants a higher tempo.
Well, the United States are due a victory in San Diego. Look at that record, 0-5-2. It's the first game in this city since 2006. That was a 0-0 draw against Canada at the Toreros Stadium. Significant because it was the debut for Freddie Adu. He was aged 16 years, 234 days. Adu now plying his trade in Brazilian soccer with Bahia, having left the Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer.
They're also playing against a team they haven't lost to since 1988, so they can take risks. You know, there are a lot of players out here that don't want to hurt their chances by making mistakes, but what Jurgen Klinsmann is looking for is guys that want to get on the ball, guys that aren't afraid of making mistakes, that want to change the game, that want to beat a guy, that want to look forward, get into the box, make something happen. He's not looking for guys that play a flawless game and don't give the ball away.
Castillo dispossessed inside the final 10 minutes of the first half. Closest the US have come is a header from Goodson that was saved well by Jerez. He grabbed the rebound with Carl Beckerman lurking. Fouled by Torres, who started a World Cup finals match against Slovenia at Ellis Park in Johannesburg in 2010. Excellent comeback that day by the US for a 2-2 draw. Landon Donovan, I remember, scoring in that one. Such a ferocious shot that it appeared that the Slovenia goalkeeper was hiding behind the near post.
We're going to put you in goal in practice with Landon next time.
I was happy watching that one from the press box. Corona. Beckerman. Is it a concern, Carl, that a lot of the initial passes in the centre of the field are backwards or sideways?
Yeah, I think so. He's screaming to up the tempo. He wants the intensity to be there, and of course patience is necessary. You don't want to force balls, you don't want to give the ball away cheaply, but you have to have players that find a way to get turned in moments like this and play forward. Make it difficult for Guatemala, because if you just keep moving the ball left and right across the back, this team is too organized. They're going to be able to just shift and continue to stay in front of behind the ball.
No foul. One for Contreras to chase here. Parkhurst is back. Looking to support Contreras. He's got a bit of space here. Into the area is Minor Lopez, and he's outnumbered. Torres just dinks a little ball here to Corona, and he'll look long towards Landon Donovan.
Yeah, it seems lately that they've moved into more of a 4-4-2 with Corona out on the right.
And Donovan up top.
Yeah, and have a couple options up there. You have the speed of Landon Donovan. They can keep that back four honest, but also Landon checking in like he does with the LA Galaxy with Robbie Keane, and trying to play that two-man game up top, hold the ball and get turned. You know, the ball is definitely not moving quick enough right now, but the movement off the ball isn't sharp enough as well from the US. They're just a little too complacent, sitting on the ball and keeping possession.
Goodson. Now Beasley. Landon Donovan drifting out left. Creates a half a yard for himself, but Castillo couldn't bring that pass under control. Beasley again, though, for the United States. Now Corona. Looking produce. In fact, Torres, excuse me. Here is Corona. Now Parkhurst. Nicely challenged by Santeliz. Anders concedes the throw in. Corona. Now on Yewu. Torres. Beckerman. Space out wide for Beasley. Gomez in the area, so is Landon Donovan, and it's just wide. Goal number 50, flashing in front of his eyes.
Well, it's better from the United States. It was Kyle Beckerman that drew a defender, a nice early service in from DeMarcus Beasley. And Bees just takes one touch, looks up, curls it in behind the defenders. Landon finds a little pocket. He needs to catch that thin, and he's already past that near post, so it's a delicate touch to get that to the far post because he catches it a little too thin.
The rest was just watching and hoping, wasn't he? 49 goals and 48 assists, both records for the US men's national team. This is his 145th cap for Landon Donovan, 30 years old now. As I mentioned, the first cap since Mexico last August. He's missed 14 internationals. A self-imposed exile from the game to take a break, to refocus. He's only played 6 internationals in the last 22 months, Landon Donovan. Here an opportunity to stake his claim, to rebuild his international career. Castillo. Carl Beckerman. Here's some space for Hercules Gomez. Landon Donovan is sprinting towards the penalty spot. A curling ball in towards Donovan. Vasquez with an acrobatic header clear. And with Landon Donovan down the centre, suddenly the United States look very dangerous. Castillo towards Donovan again. Vasquez with another header. Castillo scampering around trying to get the ball back. There's more urgency in the last 5 minutes from the USA. Torres reads that one well. Landon Donovan offering his services on the edge of the penalty area back to goal, but it goes to Beasley. Now Castillo cuts inside of one challenge. Still Castillo. Torres. Beasley making a run. Here it goes towards the back post, and the opening goal by Hercules Gomez. They upped the pace in the last 5 minutes. They look far more threatening. And Hercules Gomez has the opening goal of the night, his 6th for the United States.
Well, you can see right here, watch Corona come through the middle as this ball gets played through, and that's one reason, as Hercules Gomez tries to find that far post, that he's completely wide open. If that run from Joe Corona isn't made to the near post, and this ball isn't chipped in so delicately, fantastic ball from Torres, then he's not sitting there far post with this sitter right there. That chance right there draws the outside back away from Hercules Gomez. It's a super dangerous ball in from Torres, and a great little clinical finish on the far post from Hercules Gomez. Much better sequence there from the United States, as you said, Arlo. Up the tempo a little bit. That move to put Landon Donovan up top and move into more of a 4-4-2 not only created problems, as now they give the ball away cheaply.
Well, there's a dangerous looking cross into the penalty area. In the end, it was behind Santeliz. It was Carlos Castrillo who put the ball in. We spoke to Hercules Gomez yesterday, and he says about this chance of playing in the Gold Cup, he approaches every chance as if it's his last chance. So he's only ever asked for opportunities from Jurgen Klinsmann, who has told him to go out there and be who you are. It's interesting, he described Jurgen Klinsmann as the mad scientist at one stage in our meeting yesterday.
That was great. That got a smile on all of our faces.
Corona. Beckerman. Donovan, the 1-2 with Castillo, and it's a free kick. And Landon Donovan might fancy this one. Jonathan Lopez with the foul, and Castillo remains down.
Well, and that extra option up top is making it So difficult for Guatemala to close down the passing lanes. And that ball forward and laid off to the midfielders, it's giving them a lot of problems right now. And not only that, now when the ball is turned over, the United States are in a much better position to win it back with that extra man up there to put pressure on some inexperienced players.
Concern here for the USA with Castillo down. He actually played in 4 friendlies for the Mexican national side, but wasn't cap-tied. He made the switch to the US. Plays for Club Tijuana. And he's back on his feet. There's his clubmate, Hercules Gomez. Recently signed from Santos Laguna, where he had a great time. Speaking of having a good time, there's the San Diego chapter of the American Outlaws, bouncing around, showing their support, enjoying themselves. Landon Donovan has stepped away from the free kick. Gomez is the right-footed option. Torres is the left-footed option. It's like a 5-man wall for Guatemala. Closing stages of the first half. The US lead by a 1-0, looking to double their advantage. Gomez strikes it high and wide. Feeling confident, Hercules Gomez. The first United States player to win the MLS Cup and the Mexican League will have 1 minute of time added on at the end of this first half. It started slowly, but the US have picked up the pace, thanks in no small part to Landon Donovan's contribution at centre forward. Here he is again, Donovan with the cross in, Vasquez with the header just in front of Hercules Gomez. Contreras, sliding challenge from Goodson. Marquez sprays it out to Jonathan Lopez. Castrillo, flag possibly would be raised had that gone to Minor Lopez, but it didn't. It's Edward Santeliz. Lopez in the penalty area. Santeliz with a move. With good effort, it was blocked. And here's Gallardo, who slices his shot well wide.
Well done from Joe Corona there.
And that's the half-time whistle from Valdin Legister. And Hercules Gomez, his goal in the 42nd minute, separates the sides. A finish with the right foot at the near post. And that is a half-time scoreline. The United States lead by a 0-0. Wouldn't mind being a fly in the wall for that conversation. Russ and Carl will have the half-time show after this break.